Garten of Banban 2 just came out, and despite all the criticism surrounding it for obvious reasons, it actually added a lot more to the lore, and me myself being a lore/theory guy couldn't help but dive a little deeper into the Banban kindergarten universe. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator, and welcome to this video. If you have any video or game suggestions, you know the drill, send them to me on my Twitter or subreddit. Keep in mind that this video will have spoilers of the last two games, and with that in mind, let's begin. Banban being the forefront leading mascot is a red entity with the alias the Devil, having two upstanding horns, wearing two different birthday hats. As a matter of fact, the prestigious kindergarten has been named after this mascot, displaying his importance in the upkeep of the image of the kindergarten with sinister secrets. Only in Chapter 2 we learn much more about this mascot, having a first-hand encounter with him. Banban's motto is to share, as it displays caring for one another, but the strange second part of the motto says that he enjoys a little bit of pancreas on the side. This, in a punny, twisted manner, might indicate how Banban in fact refers to others' pancreases when he talks about sharing, as his counterpart, Bambalina, seems to enjoy having her way with other human internal organs herself. Despite his sinister-sounding alias and motto, Banban seems like an intelligent and cunning individual who has unclear intentions within the kindergarten littered with hostile and psychotic mascots. At first, he explains how he wants to escape and leave the place, but he quickly changes his story, indicating how he wants to find the missing children, for which he requires the keycards scattered around the enormous kindergarten, which are used to access many off-limit parts and rooms. Finding a few notes and letters about the devil, or in other words, Banban, we learn he was created using a green substance labeled as Jovanium, something that is extracted from down south, which is not identified to be in the south of United States, south parts of Americas, Europe, Asia, or Africa. Either way, it seems to be a rare discovery, something difficult to extract or synthesize, especially as the note says they don't grow on trees, referring to the substance not being naturally found, or at least with no alterations, which gives rise to these live mascots. It also could refer to its limited quantities, which could actually be extracted naturally. The green substance mixed with extracted genetic material of a doctor creates what we know as Banban, which soon reveals to be a clone of the Doctor with the same memories, intelligence, and thought process. As Banban struggles to come to terms with his new looks, not recognizing himself as a non-human. Unlike the other mascots, however, Banban seems to be the most docile, cooperating with the evil and cruel staff members, not showing any hostility. Regardless, it all seems to be part of his grand scheme, as showing aggression would only force the staff members to euthanize Banban or restrain him, who treads carefully and uses his wits to get his own way. That's true for what happens to the protagonist, who gets tricked by Banban in order to fetch him a keycard. Banban, managing to successfully trick the protagonist, knocks him out, saying that he will perform some sort of surgery to him, staying very vague and ambiguous. Towards the very end, Banban apologizes for what he did, saying otherwise the protagonist wouldn't trust them, especially as all the mascots are hostile. He then ensures the protagonist he wants to help and also find the missing children, but for that he needs the protagonist's help. Based on the first encounter, I don't think we can really trust Banban as of yet, unless proven otherwise later on. As for now, he seems to be manipulating a traumatized protagonist with no other option to get his way. To maybe find more keycards to escape his imprisonment from the kindergarten, maybe even finding a way to transform his consciousness into a human. Maybe the whole plan for missing children is that the scientists could transfer the new created mascots' consciousnesses into them, effectively synthesizing new humans and clones, so they can live on for a very long time. Next mascot on the list is Bambalina, the female counterpart of Banban. Bambalina is a white version of Banban with a pink bow on her left horn. The first hands-on encounter we have with her is when she saves the protagonist from a hostile Opilabird. This respite is short-lived, as Bambalina proves to be a much worse exchange from Opilabird. She is psychotic and sadistic, enjoying giving pain, mentally and physically hurting anyone she encounters. Despite what she stands for, a mascot advocating for kindness, she reveals her true nature on how she in fact sides with evil evil. She takes the role of a teacher conducting a class who has segregated 3 tables, one for mean kids, one for cool kids, and one for the unpopular ones. She acts very biased towards the unpopular kids table, whom she refers to as losers, as she bullies them and treats them horribly, while being very forgiving to the cool and mean kids. The catch is none of her students are real, as she seems to have lost the plot due to long isolation, using inanimate objects to play pretend and create random situations. She even goes so far as creating scenarios in the playground, giving each kid type their respective role, losers being bullied, mean kids being the bullies, and the cool kids, well, just rocking some Ray-Bans. Bambalina is very controlling and manipulative, condescending the unpopular kids, requesting tailored answers to her questions and dictating how they should be and what to do, as otherwise, if anything doesn't go her way, the other party suffers the consequences of her fury. She indicates how she eats brains and rips people apart. She is impatient and unforgiving and extremely hostile and resentful. Even a poster on the wall somehow hints what has made her become who she is. Being created as a beacon of kindness and hope, she slowly realizes how her kindness was used against her, which transformed into betrayal and then evil, who she is now. It seems as if her original donor, possibly a kind woman, was lied to into the experiment whose consciousness was doubled, essentially making a clone into Bambalina. Just imagine the horror and unfairness of waking up in a new body, essentially being forced to work and advocate kindness while all you faced was unkindness, lies, and betrayal. For Bambalina, all she knows is that she is the original donor with the exact same memories and personality. The injustice she faced made her become what she is now, a resentful, angry, monstrous mascot. The last encounter with Bambalina is towards the end, where the protagonist gets chased by her, but Jumbo Josh mistakenly crushes her, which in my opinion is a better fate than suffering every day in a monstrous body, being angry and resentful every day. The next mascot is the overshadowing Jumbo Josh, a green, Play-Doh-like entity which advocates eating healthy and greens to be big and strong just like him. Strong and big is an understatement, as Jumbo Josh is gigantic. Jumbo Josh is seen towards the end of Chapter 1, but several times in Chapter 2. Despite Jumbo Josh seemingly dying after the elevator crashes on him, we see later in Chapter 2 a Juvanium trail with the body of Jumbo Gun, confirming he didn't die just to come back to hunt the protagonist. Finding some other notes, we learned that Jumbo Josh is purely made of Juvanium, with the scientists first creating a very small figurine like Jumbo Josh who quickly grows, developing veins and becoming what we know as Jumbo Josh. Jumbo doesn't seem to stop growing, as later in Chapter 2 it is much larger than before. Jumbo Josh doesn't seem to be intelligent enough like Banban and Bambalina, as it doesn't speak and doesn't show any personality apart from aggression and hostility. A secret tape also shows the green substance known as Juvanium being injected into a Play-Doh having the shape of Jumbo Josh, which could indicate it was created from plain Play-Doh and some other animal genome, making it mute and instinctual. Opilabird is a flamingo-shaped large mascot which is made clear to be created from a mixture of Juvanium and flamingo genetic material. Opilabird is explained to have been hostile in the earlier experiments and versions, but soon becomes modified in later updates, being protective towards children, specifically towards beings with small stature, high-pitched voices, and childlike behaviors. This makes Opilabird a suitable mascot to be around children, but not adults. That's true for the protagonist, as whenever he encounters the bird, it acts hostile with no question attacking him. It is also showcased in second chapter how Opilabird is protective towards Opilabird chicks, being small, making high-pitched sounds, and being childlike. A scrapped concept for a mascot which soon turns out to be a complete failure is Knapnap, a spider which taunts and torments the staff within the facility, being nothing but pure pain and misery. Knapnap is a blue spider-like mascot which in the storage unit chases after the protagonist and poses a very serious threat. There are also writings and official cautions about this mascot, who seems to have been on the loose, being a constant trouble for the employees. Despite being vicious and predatory, Knapnap seems to be also very curious, as it observes the protagonist several times from a far safe distance, just studying him, not posing any threat. It seems to me that Knapnap could have been a mixture of a human and a spider, alongside Gevanium, which created this abomination with human-like characteristics. Knapnap, being a clone of someone, seems to have lost or forgotten his humanity, yet trying to remember, showing interest and curiosity. Knapnap also seems to be resentful, especially towards the staff members, as its description explains how lonely and miserable it is. The concept mascot who was disposed of and thrown away, which quite possibly was scheduled to be euthanized, but escapes, running loose in the facilities. Stinger Flynn is a jellyfish with an orange color tone who is partially mentioned in Chapter 2. The promotional artwork of Chapter 3 displays Stinger Flynn, which provides some hints that we will see a lot more of him in the sequel. Stinger Flynn is mentioned by a child in a note, a child who also wrote in Chapter 1 on how he tried to protect a classmate from the bird, with a new note mentioning how the jellyfish, Stinger Flynn, saved the children from the bird and also Banban, which reveals two new pieces of information: that the jellyfish is possibly friendly and that Banban is cunning and very likely not good. Not much more is known about Stinger Flynn, and we don't know where its home is, but the jellyfish could very likely be hostile as well and lure the children to its domain to eat them, as trusting Bambalina escaping from the bird didn't also turn out so well. Slow Celine is a large, monstrous yellow snail which plays an altered version of red light, green light with the protagonist. Despite its name and how it might first appear, Slow Celine is in fact very fast, especially when the protagonist moves. When spotted, Celine rushes towards her victims and kills them. It seems that Slow Celine is a combination of a snail and Gevanium. Her large stature is a mystery, however. Captain Fiddles is the least talked about mascot who has a very odd shape with no neck. It's purple and appears to be used as a comic relief for silly puns and jokes. Captain Fiddles is revealed to have many different versions, who was the main test subject in the labs, having its Gevanium extracted and experimented on. A note also mentions that they need to be distracted in order for the Gevanium to be extracted from them. The cruelty and pain Captain Fiddles has endured speak for themselves when the horrid scene is encountered in Chapter number 2. Sheriff Toadster is another scrapped mascot who is revealed in some notes on how its role is redundant. Its purpose is to catch criminals and people with disrespectful attitude, but as there are no bad guys to catch, Sheriff Toadster becomes pointless and therefore scrapped. It's not yet clear if we will ever encounter an alive Sheriff Toadster, but according to the notes, Knapnap and Slow Celine were also supposed to be scrapped but yet have physical forms. In a note written to someone by the name of Osman, it's revealed there are 10 cases to be experimented on, meaning 10 mascots, but only 9 have been revealed so far. I believe the 10th mysterious mascot lies within the abyss, a dark hole which the scientists and staff threw unsuccessful mascots and experiments into. Banban talks about a dangerous monster he doesn't even dare getting close to, which dwells within the abyss, which most likely is the unseen 10th mascot. It seems to be the most aggressive and unstable mascot of all, a mascot that was completely scrapped with no mottos or images in the facilities, something the staff were quick to throw into the abyss not to deal with it any longer. Regardless, thinking entities would die from the long fall, many survive, with the 10th mascot clearly still dwelling there. And that's about it for this video, folks. I truly hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can stay tuned for more videos like this and possibly about Garten of Banban. It's been your host Star, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day.